The author of Hunter x Hunter has been really active online in recent years. After having launched his official Twitter account in May of 2022, he has been posting sporadic updates about his work on Hunter x Hunter. Towards the end of last year and early this year, he had published 10 further chapters which had given us more of the Succession Contest war arc, as we had finally started to learn more about the backstory of the Phantom Troop, who are in fact one of the most popular groups of characters within the series. Now, just a few hours ago, we are learning about how Togashi has shared some insane news with all of us about several possible endings that he has written for Hunter x Hunter, and he has decided to speak about them in the event that he passes away before finishing the series. So join me as we dive deep into these new details revealed by the legend Yoshihiro Togashi, as we're finally going to get some insights into his planned endings for Hunter x Hunter, as well as an ending that he has scrapped. Togashi's health has been a central topic of discussion surrounding his career. It was well known that he was struggling with the pacing of a weekly serialized work while he was working on Yu Yu Hakusho, which is why the series had abruptly ended, but the rest of the world had only come to know about his health issues following the serialization of Hunter x Hunter. On several occasions, even within the author notes of the Hunter x Hunter volumes, he speaks about his struggles with back pain, which is a massive factor contributing to the hiatus of Hunter x Hunter. In July of 2022, Togashi had addressed his health issues in one of his more recent comments on the matter within a message that he has left for fans who attend his art exhibition. So he says that fans must be thinking that he should go and draw the next chapter already, but Togashi reveals that he was unable to sit in a chair for 2 years, which had made him unable to draw. But after he had thrown away conventional ways of sitting at a desk by adapting a makeshift way of relaxing and drawing, he was finally able to resume drawing for the first time in a long while. He urges his fans to be sure to take care of their backs and their hips, as he says that even 2 weeks before writing this message, he was unable to wipe his own backside and he had to take a shower every time that he went to the bathroom, stating that it takes him 3 to 5 times longer for him to do everyday movements, as he places an importance on looking after your hips, even giving advice to fans who visit his exhibit, stating that if they drop something then they should assume the sumo crouching posture when they go down to pick it up. So we get a bit more details about what posture Togashi is able to draw in, as he draws this caricature of himself, stating that this is the only position that he is able to draw in. Since then, we had started to learn more details behind the production of a typical Hunter x Hunter chapter, with Togashi tweeting that he had decided to increase his staff back in August of 2022. Within the tweet, he explains that chapter 399's background effects were done according to his request, and chapter 400 will move forward after he hands over his requirements to his staff for it. It appears as though these staff who are working for Togashi have been handpicked. In May of 2022, Togashi had made a comment within the Jump magazine stating that he has finished the rough drafts for about 10 chapters, which is the usual amount that is required to compile a Hunter x Hunter manga volume. Now, these were the chapters that ended up being released towards the end of 2022 and early 2023. Before this, the manga had been on hiatus since November 2018. This was a 4-year hiatus, the longest within the history of Hunter x Hunter serialization. In November of 2022, Togashi had tweeted that it takes him a week to do a complete retake of a single manga panel, and this was in reference to chapter 398. Through Twitter, we are finally getting an insight into the work process of Togashi and what it takes for him to even release a single panel of the manga, and it's truly insane the sacrifices that he is making in order to complete his work and to satisfy fans. Before the news of Togashi revealing the possible endings of Hunter x Hunter, the last big update that we had was that Hunter x Hunter was going back on hiatus after releasing 10 chapters. So the Weekly Shonen Jump editorial department had spoken with Togashi, and they had decided that it would be best for the manga not to follow a weekly serialized format going forward. The editorial department had added that once it knows concrete details about the return of the manga and how the manga will be serialized going forward, it will reveal more details within the magazine. I think from this, people had assumed that Hunter x Hunter would be transitioning to a monthly serialization, but I think that even this is too much for Togashi. It does seem as though Togashi is starting work on more manga manuscripts, as on October 1st he had tweeted this tweet saying "start over," teasing that he had finally started work on the manga again. Now, the recent news about Togashi and Hunter x Hunter is from a TV Asahi interview. This is going to be aired on the 21st of November, but details have started to emerge about what Togashi is going to speak about. The main premise behind this interview is that if he passes away before finishing the series, then this is going to be its ending, as he then apologizes to fans in advance. Now, at the moment, the details from this interview that are coming out are unconfirmed leaks, but Togashi is going to supposedly reveal to his guests 3 planned ending scenarios with different levels of satisfaction that he thinks his fans will have, and these possible endings that he has envisioned all depend upon his health. Following these endings, he will then speak about a fourth dropped ending, which we do have full details about. So thankfully, Pewpiece is providing us with translations for the endings envisioned by Togashi. So Togashi says for the ending, he has prepared 3 scenarios, A, B, and C, as well as a discarded ending labeled D. He states that the first ending, ending A, is being designed to satisfy the majority, so 50% of readers, while only disappointing a smaller fraction, which he calculates to be 20%. Togashi sees ending A as a very safe choice, one that balances the expectations of fans without stirring a lot of controversy within the fandom. And it's an ending that follows closely to the traditional norms of storytelling, as it provides a proper sense of closure and leaving them feeling fulfilled after this long-running story. Now, as for ending B, Togashi predicts that this will be very polarizing, as he states that this will have an equal split between satisfaction and dissatisfaction. So you could assume that this ending may involve more unconventional narrative choices, leaving some plot threads unanswered, and overall concluding the series with an open-ended finale, with a possibility of continuing the story later in the future, similar to the ending of Naruto, Bleach, and Dragon Ball. Now, while these 3 series have returned in some way, shape, or form, we know that leaving Hunter x Hunter on an open-ended finale just isn't really plausible, because there's no way that Togashi is going to return to release more chapters, and he is struggling to even release chapters at the moment. Ending B may well challenge the expectations of fans, and it may well be similar to the ending of Attack on Titan, where it offers a thought-provoking conclusion that proves to be very divisive. Now, ending C is what has a lot of fans really excited. Now, Togashi states that this was only going to please 10% of his readers, and is going to displease 90% of them. He asks why is he even included this in his possibilities if it has such a high rate of dissatisfaction amongst his fans. Well, this is because ending C is his personal favorite. He wants to subvert the expectations of his readers, meaning that he wants to stay away from conventional storytelling as much as possible. Now, he says that what would be better than ending C is the scenario where he discards all of these endings, where he comes up with an ending that he enjoys even more than ending C. I'm sure he wants to increase that reader dissatisfaction rating of 90% to 100%, as it seems like this is Togashi's ideal and his goal. This is a common trend within mangaka where they go against what the audience or the readers want. Akira Toriyama, the author of Dragon Ball, has known to go on record for saying that he doesn't listen to his fans, and in fact, more often than not, he does the opposite of what his fans want. And while it is unconventional, you cannot deny the success of this strategy, as Togashi is regarded as one of the greatest mangaka of our time with the way that he subverts all of these shonen tropes and gives us a very unique and compelling story via Hunter x Hunter. Now, incredibly, Togashi helps us to get more of a clear picture as he shares with us scenario D, which is one that he has completely disregarded at this point. He states that if he is to pass away before completing the manga, then consider this as the ending of the manga, as he kindly requests for his fans to forgive him if such an event were to occur. So this is ending D, which Togashi is comfortable with sharing with us right now. This ending centers around Jin, who is Gon's granddaughter, and it contrasts her decision to not become a hunter with Gon's journey to follow in his father's footsteps and to become a hunter like him. This ending plays it safe as it gives us a closure to the generations of Gon's family, as it poses significant importance on the decisions made in the past with the decisions made in the future and how these choices go on to define one's destiny. So let's go over ending D. This is what Togashi has written. Next to the lake, a girl named Jin holding a fishing rod stands motionless. Suddenly, the rod shakes violently, and Jin, startled, exclaims, "I got him, I got the Lake Lord." She skillfully lifts the Lake Lord onto her shoulders and stands before a woman as she says, "As I promised, I caught the Lake Lord, Mum." Jin approaches the woman and passionately declares, "You must not tell me again, you must become a hunter." The woman, with no tricks left up her sleeve to convince her daughter, nods her head. Jin, still carrying the Lake Lord on her shoulder, walks away, and the mother comments to her husband that Jin's dream is to never leave this island, as she wants to inherit where they live. The father seems to agree with his daughter Jin's decision, as he is seen to be laughing, but the mother expresses her dissatisfaction, as she states that perhaps her desires will change in the future. The woman goes on to ask her husband why him and Jin are like this, suggesting that it may be because of the blood of Grandma Mito and Grandma Noko. So Grandma Mito is in reference to the cousin of Gin Freecs, who ends up being the foster mother of GON Freecs, and Grandma Noko is in reference to this child, who is the only other child on Whale Island besides GON. Little is known about this girl, but we know that she is a friend of Gon's, and she had seen him off when GON had departed from Whale Island back in chapter 1. So it seems like GON had ended up marrying her, so the woman seems to be unaware that Grandma Mito and Grandma Noko are not related by blood, and the father smiles knowing this, Gon and Noko had ended up having a son, and it seems like the blood of Noko had ended up influencing Gon's son. His wife continues to explain that Grandpa Gon was a famous hunter, as she states that this girl will one day leave this island, but Jin insists that she will never leave. The scene then changes to the Lake Lord being cleanly cut and its internal parts being sorted, as Jin thinks to herself while working that her mother doesn't understand, elaborating that when Grandpa Gon speaks joyfully about his memories of being a hunter, Grandma Noko quietly moves away from her seat. Gon's granddaughter Jin is against the idea of making someone wait for her return. While on her journey to pursue this dream of becoming a hunter, she would be away for months and even years, resulting in the people that she leaves behind longing for their return. This whole idea just crushes her heart. She disagrees with this and doesn't want anyone to be waiting for her. The door then opens as a chubby little child holding a plant enters, as the child exclaims that he had caught the Lake Lord for real. This chubby child appears to be the grandchild of another famous Hunter x Hunter character, but we don't really know who. Ending D wraps up with, in the background, a figure watches the children who cook the Lake Lord that Jin has just caught. So Ending D really does help to bring the story full circle, as it returns to the roots of the series back on Whale Island, and it even leaves things off with an open-ended narrative, but with the grandchildren of these famous characters that we are aware of deciding not to become hunters. It does serve as a proper conclusion to the story also, contrasting against Gon's decision. So there's been an outpouring of support and even sadness and speculation from Hunter x Hunter fans following this latest news from Togashi. I think it's no secret that all of us have a deep respect for Togashi and his work, and he has the right to end his story on his terms. There's a lot of personal sacrifice when it comes to working on Hunter x Hunter for Togashi. He is in literal pain for every page that he releases. Despite this, he still has a desire to end his story in a way that he would enjoy, and so that fans has somewhat of a conclusion for the work that they have been following for so long. I think this talk about the ending of Hunter x Hunter is just really emotional, as we've invested so many years into this story and its characters. I followed Hunter x Hunter personally for over 11 years. I really quickly fell in love with the series. Being a fan of typical shonen stories, Hunter x Hunter was just doing things really differently, and it was hard for me to put down the manga or to stop watching the anime because I was sold on the incredible writing and the amazing characters that Togashi comes up with effortlessly. Togashi speaking about the ending of Hunter x Hunter underscores his philosophy as an artist. He doesn't just want to please the majority of fans, he wants to end Hunter x Hunter in a way that resonates with his writing style, and he really wants to end the series in a way that is going to displease a lot of the readers. But to be honest, subverting our expectations is truly the authentic Togashi style. This is how he is able to come up with such impactful stories. They challenge what we know about the established norms of shonen storytelling. I mean, look at the Chimera Ant arc. There's a set of the fandom who deem it to be one of the greatest shonen arcs ever told, but there's another section of the fandom who don't really like it that much. I think that it dragged on for too long. Whatever the case may be, I don't think that the ending of Hunter x Hunter is going to really impact its legacy. The series has well and truly established itself, so I'm looking forward to Togashi ending it in a way that he finds the most enjoyable, which will mean that it's going to dissatisfy most of us, and it's going to be a very controversial ending that will leave fans talking about it for years to come. Whether if Togashi ends up writing an ending for Hunter x Hunter or not, we have this safe bet of ending D on the table, which reveals a scenario where the next generation of Gon's family decide not to be hunters. When it comes to waiting and looking forward to Hunter x Hunter chapters, there's a massive human element attached to it. At this point, it's more than just a manga. It's the lifelong work and struggle of Togashi, who despite everything has embodied the spirit of the characters that he writes about and has persisted even after so long, all for the sake of his readers. Now, the potential endings for Hunter x Hunter are an insight into Togashi's creative mind. He is somebody who values his own artistic integrity, as well as someone who knows exactly what his readers are expecting. I really loved deep diving into all of this news about Togashi and how he is coming up with the ending of Hunter x Hunter, as he calculates the percentage of satisfaction or dissatisfaction from fans, and to be honest, it just builds the anticipation of reading more material from Togashi. So in the end, I want to hand over the discussion to all of you. Do you guys want an ending which is going to satisfy a lot of readers, or do you want an ending that stays true to Togashi's vision, which subverts all of our expectations and displeases the majority of the fandom? I look forward to reading all of your thoughts on what do you think about the status of Hunter x Hunter in 2023. It does seem like Togashi is working on the series following the tweet that he made on the 1st of October, so hopefully we can expect another batch of chapters to release in a few months' time. I mean, if he releases 10 chapters over 10 weeks, he could switch this up to a monthly release where he releases these chapters over 10 months, which gives him enough time to work on the next bunch of chapters, meaning that we aren't left with significant periods of time where Hunter Hunter x Hunter is not releasing any content at all. But again, this is all dependent on Togashi's health, and that takes a massive priority. So yeah, definitely continue the discussion in the comments. I look forward to reading all of your thoughts about this latest Hunter x Hunter news. And lastly, thanks for making it to the end of this video, and I can't wait to see you in my next video.
If you enjoy my content, then you can support my channel through Patreon for as little as $1 a month, or even through YouTube by becoming a channel member. You will gain access to exclusive channel perks and a Discord server which I frequently use. So become a member of my Zero Division and be the first to know about my upcoming videos. And once again, thank you for sticking around till the end of the video, and whatever you contribute will mean a lot to me.